So a couple weeks ago, I posted a video about quantum immortality. The theory that suggests that there's a multiverse, and that a person's consciousness continues in alternate realities in the multiverse, where they live on and survive otherwise fatal events. Now, I've had hundreds of people submit me their stories on how they think that they've encountered quantum immortality in real life. And of those stories, this one right here is one of my favorites. So in 2012, this man and his friend go to a bar, and they tie one on. They have way too many drinks, and they decide that they're gonna drive back to their buddy's house and finish the night there, which is absolutely stupid, but they were absolutely smashed. So they get in the car and head towards the friend's house. Obviously not in the greatest shape to drive, but it's late, they're feeling untouchable, and the highway's deserted, so they continue to their friend's house. Then, out of nowhere, the friend in the passenger seat reaches over and grabs the steering wheel and jerks it. And before the driver can react, they smash into the telephone pole. The driver stated he felt the immediate impact of the car, the airbags deployed, the steering wheel going into his chest, and watching as his friend flew through the windshield. Then everything went black. The next thing he knows, everything is fine again. They're back in the car. They're driving down the same deserted road, still in the same inebriated state, but at that moment, his friend reaches over to grab the steering wheel. But this time he catches it. And as soon as he catches it, his friend recoils like he had been shocked. They avoided the crash. They passed the pole, both of them looking at it, and then glancing at each other, and then sitting in silence for like 10 minutes. Neither of them knew how to process this situation. They both experienced this. The friend looks at the driver and asks him, did we? And the driver responds, yeah, we hit the pole. You jerked the wheel right into the pole. He says, what happened? He says, the last thing I remember was us hitting the pole. His friend says, I saw you fly through the windshield, and then everything went to black and reset. His friend says it all went to red and reset. The guy tells me that he's convinced that he didn't just avoid the crash that night, that him and his friend didn't just avoid hitting that pole, but they somehow jumped realities. He didn't know what this was called until it came up on TikTok much later, before my video. But he said quantum immortality explained everything that happened that night. But since that day, him and his friend have rarely ever spoken of this again because it shook him up so much. Now, I've experienced this 6 times. I've told you 3 stories about my experiences with quantum immortality. I'm gonna tell you the other 3. But have you experienced anything like this? When I first read this story, I felt like this could have been a Final Destination script. Like these guys have got death now chasing them. But send me your stories, because I want to hear how you got a second chance in another reality. Damn it, man.